All right, AP Stat, in this video, we're going to talk about another strategy for probability. Remember, I've already talked to you about Venn diagrams. I've talked to you about tables. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about trees and do kind of an overview of the strategies that we've talked about in total. All right, so trees work really well when you have a situation where you've got the probability of an event and the probability that you don't have the event, and then you've got more probabilities after that. So these work great for probabilities of something happening within a probability. So these work great for conditionals. All right, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so these work great when you have conditionals set up in the problem. So let me show you, let's go over our probability strategies again. Remember that if two events are independent, you can multiply the events together. Okay, that is pretty standard. If you'll remember, I think I talked about that a lot when we did our basic probability stuff, finding the probability of something and something else. Those are independent. You can multiply them together. And then remember, if we've got a small number of events, we can always just create the sample space like we did with the coin toss problem, where I tossed the coin 3 times and wanted you to list the sample space. So there were just 8 outcomes there. So the sample space was small, so it was easy to write out. And then you can just look at it to find the probability of events. Okay, the other thing we've talked about the idea that we can, if we want to count things in a sample space, we can make a probability distribution. You had to do that on your very first homework, A16, where you had to create your probability distribution for your spinners, for the sums. And then, of course, our conditional probability, which is our most recent thing we've talked about. Remember that your conditional probability limit your population to just a group within it. So that's why we have to use words like given or when or if. So, and I've written all that down right here. Okay, when a question has no conditionals, that means if, given, or when, in the given information, and does not ask for conditionals. So no conditionals are given, no conditionals are asked for, then the best thing to use would be a Venn diagram or a table. All right? When the question has conditionals in the given information and it asks for intersections or unions, remember those are ands or ors, when it asks for those, usually what works best is a tree, which I'm going to do some examples for you with trees in just a moment. When the question has no conditionals in the given information, but asks for conditionals in the answer, then almost always what works best is a table. So this is just kind of an overview of our strategies, and trees work best, or showing you how a tree works is actually easier within a specific problem. So that's why I'm not spending too much time talking about what would a tree look like. One thing I would like to mention about a tree is that when you're looking at a tree, when you're moving out this way, you multiply to get this value right here. So you would multiply these to get that. All right, so keep that in mind. Same thing down here. You would multiply these to get that. You would multiply these to get that. So you multiply out in a tree. Okay, you multiply out that way, but guess what? These probabilities should all add to 1. Okay, you add down. All right, so I'm going to do some more videos with examples of this.